Good afternoon, Ajahn.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us pay respect to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We'll begin with the chanting. May we invite Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so we always start with the Buddha verse on loving kindness. Karaniyamatha kusalena yantang santang patang apisamecha sakko uchu cha suhuchu cha suvacho cha samuthu anatimani santu sako cha suparo cha appakicco cha sanlahukavutti santin priyo cha nipako cha Appakappo kulesu ananukitto najakutthang samajare kinciyena vinyu pare upavattayung sukhino akemino hontu sapphe satta bhavantu sukhitatta ye tipana puta titasawa thawarawa anavasesati khawaye Mahanta wa machimara saka anugathula Tittha wa ye ja atittha ye ja ture vasanti aviture Bhuta wa samphavesi wa sapphe satta bhavantu sukhitatta Naparo parang nikuphe thananti manye thakathajinang kinti phayaro sanapatika sanya nanyamanya sathukamichayamata yathani yang puttang ayusa ekaputtamanurake evam pisapapute sumana sampavaye aparimanam Metanca sappha loka samimana sampavaye aparimanam Puttang atho jatiriyanca asampatang averang asapatang Tittanca rang nisinno va sayano va yavatassa vikatamitho Etang sating atithaya brahma metang viharang itamahutit Kinca anupakhamma sila vathassanena sampanno kame suvinaya kethang nahi chatu kapasayang punareti. Now let us chant the Buddha's verse on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing. That's the wise good letter reproof, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harms upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart, choose one, cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of visions, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. ท่านธรรมยังอุทิศนาทิธานาคาทายโยพนามาสีอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอุปัชฌายาคุนุตระอาจาริโยปการาจะมาตาปิตาจะยาตกาสุริโยจันทิมาราชาคุณวันตานราปิจาพระมมาราจะอินทาจะโลกปาลาจะเทวตายะโมมิตามนุสสาจะมัชฌตาเวริกาปิจาสัพเพสัตตาสุขีโหนตุปุญญานิปปตานิเมสุขันจติวิทังเทตุขิปังปาเปทโวมะตังอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอิมินาอุติเสนาจาทิปาหังสุลเพเจวะตันหุปาทานาเชทนังเยสันตานิหินาธัมมายาวะนิพพานโตมะมังนัสสันตุสัพพทาเยวะยัตถชาโตภเวภเวปุชุจิตตังสติปัญญาสันเลโควิริยัมหินามาราลพันตุโนกาสังกาตุนจะวิริเยสุเมพุทธาธิปะวโรนาโทธัมโมนาโทวรุตตโมนาโทปเจกพุทโธจะสังโฆนาโทตโรมะมังเตโสตมานุภาเวนะมาโรกาสังลพันตุมา Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspirations. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the suns and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the lords of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through these acts of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful sets of mine, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protections of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. อันธรรมยังเมตตาภรนังกโรมาสีอาหังสุขิโตโหมินิทุกโขโหมิอเวโรโหมิอัพพยาปัชโชโหมิอานิโคโหมิสุขีอัตตานังปริหารามิสัพเพสัตตาสุขิตาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอเวราโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอัพพยาปัชชาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอานิคาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุสัพเพสัตตาสัพพทุกขาปมุญจันตุสัพเพสัตตาลัทธสัมปติโตมาวิคัจฉันตุ Sapphe satta kamma saka kamma thaya tha kamma yoni kamma pantu kamma pati sarana yang kammang karisanti kalayanang va papakang va tasathaya tha bhavisanti. Now let us chant the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained when they act upon intention. All beings are the owners of their actions and inherit its results. Their future is born from such actions, companion to such actions, and its results will be their home. All actions with intentions, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heirs. Okay, next one we will do the Maranasati. That's two, we call the M and M meditation. One is Metta and the other one is Maranasati. This one is, everybody should know how to do this. Okay, so we start with the Pali and later we do the translation. Pavatati patulayaya sayusantati yakayang parupamaya sampasang havaye maranasati mahasampatti sampatta yatha satta mata itha tatha ahang marissami maranang mahesati uppattiya sahevetang maranang akatang satha maranathaya okasang vattako viya esati isakang aniwattang tang sattatang kamanusukang chivitang uthaya attang suriyo viyathavati vichupuppula ussava Sarah Raji Parikhayang Khatago Vahriputasa Sapphattapi Avariyo Suya Sattama Punniti Putti Vutti Chinatvayang Khatesi Maranang Kipang Katumati Sake Katha Patkayanam Jave Kalaya Pahirachattu Pattava Maramorang Nime Sapi Maramano Anukhananti. Meditation on death. Like a flame blown out by the wind, this life continuum goes to destruction. Recognizing one's similarities to others, one should develop mindfulness of death. Just as people who have achieved great success in the world have died, so too I must certainly die. Death is harassing me. Death always comes along, together with birth, searching for an opportunity like a murderer out to kill, not the least bit stoppable, always going forward. Life rushes towards its end, like the rising sun to its setting. Like lightning, a bubble builds, or a line drawn in the water. Life cannot last. Death is like a murderer after his fall, completely unrestrainable. Death slays those great in glory, in strength, merit, powers, and wisdom, and even the two kinds of conquerors, no need to speak about one like me. Due to a lack of the necessities of life, to some inner or outer misfortune, I, who am dying moment after moment, can die in the blinks of an eye. Animittang ananyatang maccanang ittha chivitang kasiranca parittanca tanca tukkena sangyutang nahiso upakkamo atti yena chatana miyare sarang pipattawa marahnang ewang dhamma hipanino paranang iwa pakkanang pato patanato payang ewang satana maccanang niccang maranato payang yathapi kumpakarasa katamattika bhajana sapphe petana pariyanta ewang maccana chivitang taharaja mahanta ca ye phala ye ca pantita sapphe majju vasangyanti sapphe majju parayana anicca sankhara upatha vaya dhammino upaccittawa nirucchanti te sang vupasamo sukho. The life of mortals is sightless. Its length cannot be known in advance. It is difficult and limited and tied up with sufferings. There is no possibility that mortals shall not die. Having reached old age, they die. Such is the nature of living beings. As fruit, when ripe, has to fall, so all beings live constantly in the fear that they will die. As the potter's earthen jars eventually must all break up, so too does the life of mortal eventually come to an end. The young and the old, the foolish and the wise, all move in the grips of death, all finally end in death. Impermanence are all conditioned things, affected by risings and fallings away. Having arisen, they then must cease. Blissful is it when they subside. Attirang vatayang kayo, pattaving atisesati, chuttho apeta vinyano, nirathang vakaring karang, anapito tato akha, nanunyato ito kato, yatha kato tatha kato, tattha paritevana, yathapi sera vipula, napang ahacca pappata samanta anupariyayung nippotenta catuttisa ewang caraca maccuca ativattanti panino khatiye brahmane vese sutte cantara puktuse nakinci pariwaceti sappang ewa pimattati natattha hattinang bhumi narattanang napattiya nacapi mantayuttena sakka cetung thanena va tassamahi pantito poso sampassang attamattano putte dhamme ca sanghe ca tiro sattang nivesaye yo dhammacare kayena vacaya uttacetasa itevanang pasangsanti eta sakhe pamothati. Before long, this body will lie, cast away upon the ground, bereft of all consciousness, like a useless block of wood. Uninvited he came here. Without leaves he departed. He went just as he came, so I lament, like gigantic boulders, mountains reaching to the sky, moving in from all sides, crushing all in the four directions. So aging and death comes, lolling over living beings, noble warriors, priests, merchants, workers, outcasts, and scavengers. They spare nothing, they crush everything. Here, elephants can hold no ground, nor can chariots or infantry. One can't defeat them by a battle of spells, or buy them off by means of wealth. So a wise person, seeing his own good, secures firm convictions in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. He who practices the Dhamma in thought, word, and deed receives praise here on earth, and after death rejoice in heaven. Okay, next one, we do the Latapala Kata. Passami loke sathane manuse Lathana vitang nathatanti moha Luttha thanang sannitayang karonti Pinyo vakame apipathayanti Racha pasaiha pathawing vishittawa Sasakarantang mahing awasanto Orang samuthassa atita rupo Parang samuthassa pipattayetha Racha cha anye cha pahu manussa Avita tanha maranang upenti Una vahuttawana cha hanti tehang Kame hilokam hinahattititti Kantanti nang yati pagiriya kese Aho watano amarati jaho Wathena nang parutang niharittawa Kitang samathaya tato tahanti Sothai hati sule hituchamano Ekena wathena pahaya poke Namiyamana saphavanti tana Yati thamita attva sahaya Haya thakata sathanang haranti Satto panakachati yena kamang Namiyamanang thanang anveti kinchi Putta jathara jathanang jarathang Nati khang ayung lapate thanena Najapi vittena charang vihanti Appanhitang chivitang mahutira Asassatang viparinama dhammang Rattapala verses. I see men wealthy in the world, who yet from ignorance give not their gather wealth. Greedily they hoard away their riches, longing still for further sensual pleasures. A king who has conquered the earth by force and rules over the land the ocean bounds, is yet unsated with the seas near shore, and hungers for its further shore as well. Most other people too, not just a king, encounter death with craving unabated. With plans still incomplete, they leave the corpse. Desires remain unsated in the world. His relatives lament and lend their hair, crying, "Ah me, our love is dead." They bear away the body wrapped in cloth to place it on a pile and burn it there. Clad in the short, he leaves his wealth behind. Prodded with stakes, he burns upon the pyre. And as he dies, no relative or friends can offer him shelter or refuge here. While his heirs take over his wealth, these beings must pass on according to his actions. And as he dies, nothing can follow him, not child, nor wife, nor wealth, nor royal estate. Longevity is not acquired with wealth, nor can prosperity banish old age. Short is this life as well as all sages say. Eternity is knows not, only change. Atta tharittha ja pusanti pasang Paro ja thiro ja tatheva puttho Paro hi paraya vatito vaseti Thiro ja navetati passa puttho Tassama hi panya vatanena sayo Yaya vosana ithati kachati Abhayo sitatta hi phava bhavesu Papani kammani karonti moha Upeti พันจะปรัญจะโลกังสสารังอาปาชาปรัมปรายาตัสสัพปปัญโยอภิสัทธหันโตอุเปติขัพพันจะปรัญจะโลกังโจโรยธาสันติมุเคขหิโตสกัมมุนาหัญญติปาปธัมโมเอวังปชาเปจะปรัมหิโลเกสกัมมุนาหัญญติปาปธัมโมกามาหิจิตรามัทุรามโนรมาวิโรปรูเปนะมะเทนติจิตตังอาทีนวังกามกุเนสุทิสวาตัสมาอะหังปัปปจิโตมหิราชาภุมมัพพลานิวปตันติมานาวาทหราชวุฒาจสรีระเพทาเอตัมปิทิสวาปัปปจิโตมหิราชาอปันนกังสามัญญเมวะสยโยติ The rich and poor alike shall feel death touch. The fool and sage as well shall feel it too. But while the fool lies stricken by his folly, no sage will ever tremble at the touch. Better is wisdom here than any wealth, since by wisdom one gains the final goal. For people through ignorance do evil deeds by failing to reach the goal from life to life. As one goes to the wombs and the next world, renewing the successive rounds of birth, another of little wisdom, trusting him, goes also to the wombs and the next world. Just as a robber caught in burglary is made to suffer for his evil deed, so people after death in the next world are made to suffer for their evil deeds. Sensual pleasures, varied, sweet, delightful, in many different ways disturb the mind. Seeing the danger in these sensual ties, I choose to lead the homeless life, O King. As fruits fall from the tree, so people too, both young and old, fall when this body breaks. Seeing these two, O King, I have gone forth. Whether is the recluse life as yours. Okay, so we have time. We can do the last one here, the Great King. Great King, there are 4 summaries of the Dhamma that have been taught by the Blessed One, who knows and sees, accomplished and fully enlightened. Knowing and seeing and hearing them, I went forth from the home life into homelessness. What are the 4? Life in any world is unstable. It is swept away. This is the first summary of the Dhamma taught by the Blessed One, who knows and sees, accomplished and fully enlightened. Knowing and seeing and hearing this, I went forth from the home life into homelessness. Life in any world has no shelter and no protector. This is the second summary of the Dhamma taught by the Blessed Ones, who knows and sees. Life in any world has nothing of its own. One has to live all and pass on. This is the third summary of the Dhamma taught by the Blessed One, who knows and sees. Life in any world is incomplete, unsatiated, and the slave of craving. This is the fourth summary of the Dhamma taught by the Blessed One, who knows and sees. Great King, these are the 4 summaries of the Dhamma that have been taught by the Blessed One, who know and sees. Knowing and seeing and hearing this, and hearing them, I went forth from the home life into homelessness.
We now request for the 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We'll begin by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Let's bow. Mayang bante thi saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante thi saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama datiyampi mayang bante thi saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
ตังสรณังคัจฉามิ
บุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สรณคัมมนังนิทิตัง
อามาบันเต
ปานาติปาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาทิปาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยามัจจาพมาดทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
For the eighth preceptor อภรัมมจริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อบรมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
วิการโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
วิกาลโภจนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจคีตวาทิตวิสุปทัสสนามาราคันทะวิเลปนะดารณะมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจากิตาวาริตาวิสุขาดัสนามาลากันดาวิเลปนาดารณะมันดนาวิบูสนาธานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อุชาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อ Imani atta sikkhapadani sammadiyami. Imani atta sikkhapadani sammadiyami. Imani atta sikkhapadani sammadiyami.
สีเลนะสุขติงยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพุติงยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us bow 3 times again. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We now formally request for the Dhamma Talk. Brahma Chaloka Vipati Sampati Katanjali Ana Diwarang Ayajata Santi Pasata Paraja Kajatika Dese tu Dhamma Anukam Himang Pajam.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Dhammaṃ Sanghaṃ Namasami. Okay, so we meet again on Fridays. This is the last month of the rainy seasons. It's a Katina season, the season where the Buddha allowed for the monks to go and seek the robe to make one before continuing their own way. So in our monastery, we just have the Katina in the past weekend. So some of you might see this on live. And and then tomorrow I will go to another Katina in the very huge monastery with water reservoirs. So there will be a lot of people there. And then next week I'm going to Chiang Rai to attend another Katina in Chiang Rai. So next week I will not be having the session because the monastery there doesn't have the electricity, and so there will be no internet and all those things. Yeah, so I will skip for 1 week. Okay, so just to make sure before I forget. Okay, so today we basically do some chanting. The regular chanting that we do normally, we start with the Buddha verse on loving kindness, and as you also might know that I do some explanation of that sutta a few weeks ago. So this sutta is good to start meditation. So basically, what we do is there's a step one by one of what to do. Basically to prepare oneself to have the quality that is suitable for practice, so we can reflect upon those qualities and see whether we have those qualities or not. And then there will be spreading the loving kindness at the end of this sutta. That's why we call Karaniya Metta. The first part, Karaniya, is the thing that we have to do before, and then the metta is at the second half, is going to be spreading the loving kindness. So this is during the Buddha times, the monks have problem with the meditation, with a lot of spirit and all those spirit try to chase them away. So they have to do this protection chant. So this is one of the paritta. Paritta means protection. So when the monks go for the house invitation, this is one of the sutta where the monk will chant. So the first sutta is for basically for both living beings and non-living beings. So try to the one who already passed away become the spirit. So we spread the loving kindness and telling them that we are here for practice for the benefit of all beings. So they will, rather than have some irritate or frustration, they will anumodana, they will rejoice in our practice. So it's good to start with that. And then the second one, we do the Utisana Titana Kata. This is to dedicate the merit. So this second sutta is especially good for dedicate whatever we do. We share that with other the people who we love, who doesn't have a chance to practice like us. So we think of them as gratitude. Actually, the fact that we have an opportunity to practice is a lot depend on them. That they are basically the one who create the causing condition. So we dedicate whatever merit we have to them. And then the last one is the metta, is just straightforward. We spread it to the living beings who are still alive, and we generate the loving kindness, the sense of friendliness. Actually, the sense of friendliness is coming from knowing that all living beings are subject to old age, sickness, and death. Therefore, we should be friends, because when we look at this perspective, then we are the same. We are friends in old age, sickness, and death, and actually birth as well. Because if we not finish it, we will be born again. So that is the sense of connection there, that all living beings try to stay away from suffering, try to seek for the happiness. So how can we help each other and support each other along the way? So this is the basically 3 sutta that always do before we meditate or before we practice. It's good to think that we are not separate. We are connected to the bigger picture. The people who share this place where we practice, it used to belong to some people who basically put some effort to have that place suitable for your practice. So we should share whatever we have in our wisdom or whatever merit to all of those beings. So this is a good sutta to start. And then the second half would be focus on the Maranasati, which is the facts of life. That actually this is the whole reason why we have to practice, because we are subject to old age, sickness, and death. If not because of that, then what the point of practice? If we able to live forever and after, and if we not have any sick or suffering, then there will be no point of practice or no point of having Buddhism at all. But because this is a fact of life, that we are facing all age, sickness, and death. So this is the whole reason why we are all practice. So we should reflect upon that frequently. I mentioned earlier that I call it M and M meditation. The first M is metta, and second M is mindfulness on Maranasati, on death. So metta and Maranasati, 2 Pali words. So you can keep that in mind. Have we do M and M meditation. So the metta is to have a sense of connection to all living beings, because we all are heading for death, for marana. So we reflect upon that, and the sense of urgency, the sense that we don't have much time to play around, to push it for another day. So whatever we do it as the best we can, because today might be our last day. It's possible that tomorrow we might not wake up. like every day, hundreds of thousand people die all over the world. This is before the COVID. So after the COVID, definitely more than that. And one day there will be us, will be one of the 100,000 people who are not wake up tomorrow. So today is last day for 100,000 people all around the world. So when we think about that, then everything we do, we should do it now. Like whatever we think that if we have anything to say, anything that we haven't done, especially for the loved one, the one who feel like you may say, oh, I do it another time. Usually the issue that we have is usually with the one who close to us. Sometimes we have some unfinished business, whatever it is, try to clear up because this it might be the last time. As you get older, you're not that sure that you can live to see certain things again. This is one of the morality as well. Like even the book now, you see it's a lot of book behind me in this room. Actually, I have a lot of books, and my father also sent me a lot of books as well. But lately, he, when I ordained, when my father asked me, "What do you want?" Like I say, "Okay, I want a book." So he said he I get a book from our house, and I have a big library here in the monastery. But then lately, my father kept sending me a book, and I asked him, why you send me a book? And he said, well, because I think this will be the last time that I will read this book. Because he was in his 80s, and it's probably true that the book that you read might be this is the last time, and what the point of giving the thing that you can have it for the last time. So he sent me the book. So, but I still keep it there. But yeah, this is the thing that you might think, okay, not only for a book, but maybe for the people that you meet. Okay, I mean, if you in your 50, 60 or whatever 70s, maybe that's not the next time. Like Katina, we have a lot of people coming to visit, but because of this situation of COVID, basically all we see is just the eye, that everybody have a mask on. So a lot of people are not recognized. Sometimes they just come and who are they? So they will come and greet, and because of course we have a limited amount of people who attend the Katina. But even the one who come, usually sometimes you just don't know who they are. So for example, this is the people who support the monastery. They come every year. Usually the Katina is a time where people thinking of monastery the most. Like the ex-monks, the ex-novice. Some of them ordained at Bulam, and they disrobe, and then they have to go back to study or to get a job, to get married, to have a family. Sometimes they bring their kids, but yeah, this is the life of people, and some of them already gone. The people who support the monastery, like we have this year in particular a few old people in Wat Anachat, where I'm spend my early year. The main supporter, the house that we go for alms every morning. They just passed away, and we attend their funerals. And one of the granny of our monks who ordained in the Vasa, she just passed away 2 days ago as well. Luckily that her grandson is still in robes. He was thinking about disrobing as well. Wait a second, stay on a little bit, yeah, and then his grandmother passed away. So we just attend the funeral, and today we do the chanting for her. So many people will be the last time we meet them. You know, like this is it. You know, they're in their 70s, 80s, some of them 90. You know, they just come, and then that's it. You know. This it might be their last katina, the last chance of offering some merit, something that they can think about when they are on deathbed. That yeah, at least I'm leaving something behind, and I can use that as the basically the karma towards the next life, you know, with the wholesome karma, you know, to the sense of letting go, the sense of happy from even their life pass away, but the Dhamma go on. You know, the people who practice the Dhamma and they help supporting these triple gems, Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. So this is something that we can reflect upon, you know, every day. That, you know, if it might be my last day, it's not certain that any of us will be there the next year, the next Katina. So that will be something that we should think about that. So anything we want to do it now. You the practice practice it now. You know, you can put some time a day, you know, rather than waste some time with many things that it's not really important. Something is urgent, but it's not that important. You know, it's something that you have to take care of. So maybe the priority have to be there. You know, maybe you have some list of things that you want to do. Yeah, like the meditation is something that I think is very. If you seriously about practice, then the form of meditation is very helpful. And morning, evening chanting is also very helpful as well. You know, to have that into your routine. Like in the morning, you start the day with the word of the Buddha, with the chanting, recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and select some passage that you like in the Dhamma and do some chanting with that. You know, you can use that for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's very good to calm your mind before you meditate. And then sit for half an hour at least, you know. If you like, you can sit further, maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour. So just make the habit of doing that. And during the day, of course, you might get lost in your work, in your family and all those things. But then when you have a chance before you go to bed, then you can use the last hour before you go to bed of the formal meditation again. Maybe pick some Dhamma or listen to the Dhamma talk and do some meditation and do some chanting before you go to bed. So at least 2 times a day, you know, the early in the morning and late at night, you can, you know, at least you dedicate that to something that might happen. Like if that happened to be your last day, then you can use this. This will be very important for you for next life, because what you thought next life will be a very important. See, if you reborn as animal, there will be a long time that you lost opportunity to practice, or even born in hell or hungry ghost or whatever, or even if you born as a human but in the place where it's not suitable for practice, then you waste the opportunity. So at least, you know, like you can direct your mind first thing in the morning. Okay, when I wake up, first thing is I gonna speak the word of the Buddha. I gonna seek the Dhamma. Then when you wake up next life, because that's what happened when you die, right? When you wake up, it's not tomorrow, but it's next life. Then you seek for the Dhamma wherever it is. You know. The same way before you go to bed as well. You know, before you go to bed, the last mind moment, the last thing that you think is about Dhamma. So that you will basically, I mean, if you read something Dhamma before you go to bed, you dream, you even dream about Dhamma. I feel like it's a very nice way of dreaming, because if you read some news, something, you go back, sometimes you get a nightmare because all those things in the news, it just somehow make your dream very fussy and worry, So, making a habit of, before you go to bed, like 1 hour, just, just dedicate to just the Dhamma, and reflections of the loving kindness and death, contemplation on death, and contemplate on Buddha qualities. So that is a good way. Because if you did die, then you go with the Dhamma in mind. You keep that in mind. So that is the sutta that I recommend that we can chant it. The Pali is very nice. You hear it again. If you still in samsara, every Buddha used this Pali. So, and English might be changed. It depends on what country you're born in. But the Pali will be always there. So it's good to chant in Pali a little bit first, and then you learn to translate it into your own language. So just find the nice passage that you find inspiring, and read that or chant that. It's good to memorize it too, because when you memorize it, it's go deeper. If you read it, it's not, you not internalize it yet. But when you memorize it, it becomes yours, and you can carry it anywhere. Say if you get sick and we have to put you in ICU with all the tube thing, then all you have is what you have in your memory. You can't grab a book and then you read it. So maybe it's good to memorize something that you like and learn it by heart. If you chant it every day, then for a few months you memorize it. So I recommend that you pick the sutta, the piece of sutta that you like, and do it every morning, every night before you go to bed. Just pick the sutta. For me myself, I use the certain sutta. I do it every morning, but then I change the sutta because I like to learn other sutta as well. So you can do the same. Maybe half of your chanting, maybe something that you do it always, like the metta, the dedicated merit, and the Buddha words of loving kindness. You do it kind of fixed. But then the other half, you can pick and choose the sutta that you like, and then in that way you learn something new, and at the same time you strengthen something that is already there. And so you do it every day. So you can use that in the morning, in the afternoon. Use the words of the Buddha as a companions. So you actually, when you meditate, all this chanting is still echoing in your mind. You can use that as the Dhamma reflections. So this is one way of bringing the mind in tune. When you are a lot of things going on in your life, you going on and have to deal with many business here and there, a lot of stress. So if you come and you sit right away, it's very difficult to do. Usually what happens is you try to switch off. Okay, I don't want to think anymore, and then you switch off, you go to sleep. You thought that it's meditation, but it's not. It's just a good sleep. So one way is to switch it first, from the worldly way of thinking, change it to the Dhamma way. So you change, because your mind is already thinking. You can't just turn it off right away. It's just like you have to cool down. So you change the subject, rather than thinking about the worldly things, about all those things. Worry about your family members, worry about the money and all those things. You just give me a whatever it is, I just put it aside, leave it at the door. Just now I just me and my body and mind. This is the building block. How can I understand this? And then you can do this chanting and just put the mind in the wording itself and try to understand it. because if you understand this, you get enlightened. But the thing is, but you try to. For people like this sutta, the Karaniyametta Sutta, there are 60 monks who become arahant after practicing this. So every sutta that the Buddha teaches, some people get enlightened. And the fact that we not is because we not understand it yet. So we will try. Okay, we use that as a template, and we go back again and read it again. When we have more experience, we understand it deeper. The same word, the same sutta, but when we gain, our mind is more mature, our experience is more broadened, we understand the same word in a deeper level. So this is the beauty about the sutta. The sutta is not something that you read one thing, oh, I know everything about it. It's something that you have to read again and again, because the meaning is very deep, and it's helping you. It's like a step by step what to do. Like Karaniyametta Sutta, for example, is have all the quality that you can always reflect upon. Do I have that quality? Am I changing from, maybe you have a very good beginning, you're very dedicated, but after a while you get relaxed and you're not really straight anymore. So the word just straightforward, brave enough to practice. It just put you back into focus what we want to do. So this is the power of the sutta. It's not just the word. It's have a lot deep meaning. That's why people recite it. That's why people keeping this Tipitaka, we call the precious gems, the Dhamma gems. Why so precious? Because it is. Because it is very precious. It can lead you to the end of suffering, and that costs more than any wealth in the world. Because if you have money, you still trapped in the samsara. But if you understand this Dhamma, you can liberate from the suffering. So that's why it's so precious. So pay attention to each word of the sutta carefully, learn it by heart. Again, go back to it, meditate, try to penetrate the meaning of it, and then you use that as a reflection. This is one way of get enlightened. I think there's 5 ways of getting enlightened. One is to listen to the Buddha or the disciple of the Buddha. And the second one is to basically memorize it and to chant it, and then try to explain it to your friend very detail. When you try to explain to your friend, you have to use the power of explanation, and what you understand and what you not. So it's one of the sutta where the monks was ill. And then the other monks basically sent the messenger to him, asking the question, like, "Oh, how are you? Are you doing okay? How's your sickness go?" And he said, "Well, my sickness is not better. It's getting worse." And the monks asked, "Well, what part of the things that is considered yours?" They say, "Well, I not consider anything's mine. It's just the 5 khanda, just the materials and the mind. It's not me." And they say, "Well, then you might be arahant, because you not see anything like self. It's just the body and mind." And the monk said, "Well, I'm not arahant yet, even though I'm not seeing anything as me or mine, but it's still something there that I still clinging to as me and mine." So in the end, the monks have to go because he doesn't want the messenger to go back and forth. So he end up using his cane and walking toward the monks and explain. And he try to explain what is he feeling. So he put a simile of the fragrance of the lotus. It's just coming out. It doesn't come from any particular part of the lotus, but it's all there. It's like the sense of the self there. And another simile is like he tried to clean the cloth with many things, with the ashes, with the cow dungs and all those things. In the old day, they use cow dung to clean it. So after cleaning the cloth, then the smell of these ashes, the smell of the cow dung is still there. So they have to put it somewhere for a while until the smell is gone. So when he tried to explain that, he and all the monks get enlightened. So even though they not get enlightened in the beginning. So this is the example of when you try to explain something that you learn by heart to your friend, then you can get deeper into the Dhamma. Another way of get enlightened is when you recite it. When you say in detail and you can know the meaning of it. The other way is to contemplate the meaning of the thing that you learn. So you can see that the first 4 things is depend a lot on the sutta. You depend a lot on the text or the wording, and then you try to understand it by many ways, either by listen to the Buddha or by trying to explain to your friend, try to chant it, elaborate, or try to contemplate the meaning. And then the last one actually is the one where you don't need much of the text. It's just with picking up the nimitta or whatever the object of meditation and just go with that. Maybe the breathing or the kasina, the color, or the contemplation or the 32 part or whatever, you pick up the object and just do that again and again until you penetrate the truth. So because we not emphasize much on the sutta, that's why we use the last method, like the one with the breathing or the 32 part. But that is the last option. See, when you don't have anything else, when you don't have a sutta, all you have is just one object or meditation, whatever that might be, breathing, 32 part, or kasina, then you have to make most of it. And that also possible, but I think it's very difficult for this day because our mind is not really trained to be with one object. The way our education is, we always praise of able to do many things at the same time, and the way education is, the way we are selected to be good at different things at the same time. So because of that, then I think the last method is might be useful for the people in the past who have very simple mind. That you tell them to stick with the breathing, stick with the kasina, with the red color, and they do it. Stick with the hair of the head, stick with the teeth, stick with the bone. They can do it. That all they have a very simple mind. But this day, I have yet to find people who have that, able to simple mind that do one thing and then just do it, not question and not. Usually, you are trained to think of many things, the way technology is, the way things. So we have to give importance to the first 4 way of enlightenment, the way of contemplate on the meaning of the text, contemplate, go back again and try to explain it in various kind of wording. Maybe use your own word, reading it and summarize it, put in your word, try to make it yours somehow, internalize it and think in that way. This is the way of the noble being think. How can we think like them? So maybe not exactly in the same word, but you have to find the meaning in that. So just in the beginning you don't know it, but you try, you imitate it. You maybe you can write it down. Find the good books. It's another thing is also very good meditation. Find a good books, find a good pen, and you can write it down. Write it down. It's very meditative in a way. Right. I like it a lot. I like a lot of I like Pali and write translation. And sometimes I make a poems. I just thinking of how can I, because the Pali is so beautiful. When you translate into Thai, it's not that beautiful. so how can you make it into the poems or something that people can easily understand it? Actually, this is the origin of the Dhamma gallery that in the Katina you see that a lot of poem that I write it in there. So I write it and then I have a friend finding the picture for it. So yeah, you have to be creative a little bit about the Dhamma. There's so many ways about that. And I find a lot of inspiring passage there that it was it was hand down to us. We just have to pay more attention to it and use that in the nice way. First you read it every day, contemplate on it, and usually there are some connection when you read the Tipitaka. It's just one part of it. When you understand it part, it go to another part, and you read that oh yeah, it's made it more clearer. So yeah, I think this day if you search in the internet world, there's so many ways that you can find the sutta directly translated. There's so many good books you can buy. Bhikkhu Bodhi translation it's great. I use it a lot, and Ajahn Jeff also nice. And Thanissaro homepage, the access to insight. So it's very nice. So it's good to have different translation, and then you can pick and choose which one that you like. Sometimes you even can make your own translation. Sometimes you like this verse from Bhikkhu Bodhi, but you don't like it from Ajahn Thanissaro. So you just make your own Dhamma, the one that you read, and then it means something to you. So I think that is something that you can be more active in terms of learning, in terms of try to find the meaning, and when it becomes yours, then it's really meaningful. You can carry it with you. You can recite it. When you find a trouble, you can use that as your reflection, or you can even discuss it with your friend. Like okay, this is the Buddha saying, like the way that I remember it. So that is a very nice way of exchange the Dhamma. The Buddha say when we meet together, there's two ways: either speak in Dhamma or silence. See, so if you don't have much Dhamma, then what you speak is maybe not that useful. So to remember some Dhamma is very good. Okay, what does the Buddha mean by this phrase? You can, this is maybe the topic of discussion. So have some wording as your guideline, or you start your conversation with, oh, what does it mean by this sutta? Why the Buddha say like this? Why not this? Why is that? Like that is a nice way. Ajahn Chesaro, he's doing this a lot, and he always, when we have the time, he usually bring the Dhamma and then asks us, he train us to think in the Buddha ways. Okay, what is the 4 of this and 3 of that and 5 of those? I think the Dhamma is very fun. If you understand how it's very systemic, because the Dhamma is very complete and it's pure. Complete is mean that you can't add anything in it because it's complete already. And it's pure because you can't subtract anything, you can't take anything out because it's pure. So it's just very perfect Dhamma that the Buddha say. Everything he say it's just there. So you can read that and then see whether you agree with this conclusion that the Buddha teaching is the best, and it's nothing that came close to it. It's a miracle of the human beings that the Buddha can basically explain everything in details, step by step, how to practice. So yeah, I think we can rely on certain sutta. The Manasati is nice, and we finish with the Lathapala Sutta, the reason for ordained. The Buddha give the four called the Thammuttesa, the reason why he ordained. Actually, it's just you can read that. That is basically the summary of what the Dhamma is. The life in any world is unstable. It is swept away. This is the first one is basically it signifies old age or anicca in the Pali. Second is life in any world has no shelter or no protector. This is sickness or dukkha. So, the third one, life in any world has nothing of its own. One has to live all and pass on. So this is death. This is anatta. And then the last one is life in any world is incomplete, unsatiated, and the slave of craving. So this is the rebirth or tanha. So you can see that the principle of the thing that the Lathapala understanding is the whole meaning of suffering. The first three is suffering, see, old age, sickness, and death. And the last one is the cause of suffering, which is the tanha. So by saying this, this four sentence is the whole thing. Why this is incomplete? Why the world is like it is, and it's never be anything different. It's always be like this, because this is the world. So only thing is to understand. So this is why he go and search for something else. The Buddha say, oh, why would we, as subject to old age, sickness, and death, searching for something with the same nature, right? I mean, thinking about it, we should searching for something different. If we subject to old age, sickness, and death, we should search for something that is not old, not sick, not die, and also not reborn as well. So that is nibbana. So he, because of that he searching for something great, something that is the end of our suffering, which is the goal of us, the nibbana. So when we start with the reflections, we orient ourselves toward something beyond transcendence. Something that there must be the exit of this world of cycle of this old age, sickness, and death. And then that is a very inspiring way of hope. Like, yeah, that the world is like this. It's always like that. It's never be anything different. Only thing is we attach to that. We identify with this as me and mine. That's why it's a problem, because this is my problem. It's my birth, my old age, my sickness, and my death. And if it's not yours, then it's not your problem anymore. It's just the three characteristics of nature. Nature have these three characteristics: old age, sickness, and death. So this is it's not become your problem, because you understand the Four Noble Truth. You have no craving for that dukkha anymore. So you letting go, and that is the end of suffering, by letting go, by giving up what is not belong to you in the first place. You just delude, thinking that it's belong to you. It's not. So you just return to its original owner, which is the nature. The nature owns this body and mind. We just return that, and we experience peace, ultimate peace, unconditioned, non-rebirth, not have to be go into trap this cycle again. So I think this is a nice way to start meditation with some of the sutta. The favorite one, you can pick your own pick, but I give you my favorite sutta, and you can either follow that, or you can pick your own, whatever is mean to you. You can pick and then recite that, memorize it, internalize it, and meditation upon it, and then slowly we move toward the truth. And if it's not this life, then next life, at first we set our mind to this, and then one day we have to achieve that. So I hope that the Dhamma reflections is be benefit to you, and whatever you travel for Katina season this month, be very careful on catching the illness. Try to protect, follow the health measurements. In Thailand also, we opening the country, so it's probably going to be more illness and things coming our way. But that is the nature of life. We have to learn to live with it. How to live with this sickness, and how to be mindful and avoid the thing that we don't have unnecessary traveling. But the thing that we have to do, we have to be mindful not to catch any illness, especially for the people who are maybe not well enough to get vaccine. The people, the old people, the young people who are might be at risk of getting that. We have to think about them as well. So we try to be mindful in everything we do, and of course meditation every day, morning, evening. If it happened to be our last day, we are ready to do everything that we can, and we are ready to make a journey if we need to. We have everything we need, the Buddha teachings, that we make it ours, called Buddha Mamaka, Dhamma Mamaka, Sangha Mamaka. The Buddha is belong to me, Dhamma belong to me, Sangha belong to me. So you can say that, then you are safe. You travel to the world, you're born again, you get the human body, and you get a place where you can continue your study on the way to be liberate from all suffering, continue on the Buddha teaching. Okay, so I hope you good luck and stay safe until not next week, maybe the weeks after that. Let's see. Hopefully that there will be no other things, but let's see. I will let you know if anything come up, because this is a Katina season. We never know. Sometimes we have to be to other place for the Katina. But hopefully that the week after that, I will try to be here on Friday. Okay, so see you the Friday after next Friday.
Andamayang Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karang Dadama Se Sadhu 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 Anumodami. Let's show our appreciation to Tan Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. May we invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the closing homage, please.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivati Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅghang Namami.
Once again, thank you, Tan Ajahn, for teaching us. And may Tan Ajahn stay safe while traveling out to visit other monasteries to attend their Katina sessions. And as Tan Ajahn mentioned, so next Friday, 5th of November, there will be no session by Tan Ajahn. So hopefully, 12th November, Tan Ajahn will be free on that day. Thank you, Tan Ajahn. Hope to see Tan Ajahn the week after next.
See you.
See you.